All right, Dusty. I love talking about this subject. It's influencers. Sometimes they come in a minute, sometimes they come in a lifetime. My grandfather, my grandmother, my mom, and aunt, they came from Kiev and went immigrated to Canada, and I was born. My brother was born, and he used to take me for walks. My grandfather used to take me for walks in the park when I was about 5 or 6 in Montreal. And one day I asked him, "How do you?" I said, "Like I'm Zeta. How do you know all these people?" And because he talked to everybody, which is probably which I inherited from him. And he said to me, "You see that guy over there?" I smiled at him once, and he looked up and saw me smiling, and he came over and smiled at me. And then we started talking, and became friends, and we started doing stuff. And then someone else saw us talking and came over to us too. And I'm thinking, as a 5-year-old, wow, this is great. I can have so many friends and people. All I got to do is smile. It's
Yeah,
life's easy.
it's easy.
But then I learned that that is true, but also even a deeper sense what that means when you're opening yourself up in that way to smile. So influencers, you probably have many, I'm sure, but could you share like maybe two or three that have been influential in your life?
Oh, absolutely. So I need to definitely start with my mom. So my mother was a force to be reckoned with, and she was uh, grace incarnate. And at the same token, she had a will and a fire and desire to really invest in others and make the world a better place. And so my mother did farm to table before it was chic. Um, and she wasn't scared of learning anything. I mean, she grew up in New York, yet here she was learning about how to raise chickens and sheep and milk a cow. And at the same token, my mother wasn't afraid to be different. And so, I actually, one of my favorite pictures is she's in this long ball gown out in with her mud boots on, just about to milk a cow, you know.
That's an
And
iconic picture.
it is, and absolutely. But at the same token, my mother was the one who inspired me that, being dyslexic, I actually had a problem with also speech, and I couldn't speak well until a little bit later. I couldn't read well. And she was the one that just really invested in me and gave me a sense of not only belonging, but an empowerment that I could go forth and do things, and that I might not look like everyone else, and that's okay. And so I have this huge sense of appreciating the individuals in the world. And so I've been phenomenally blessed in that regard. And then I would say the second person that I really have to just appreciate, respect, and honor is my husband. David, love of my life, but I will tell you, he is a man of God, chasing to do the right thing. He is just a phenomenal leader, but David's also done things that are not standard. So David was a stay-at-home dad before stay-at-home dads were cool.
We seem
And
to have a tradition of before anything was cool, it was done in the family here.
exactly. And so David, you know, a lot of people had a hard time seeing that I wore combat boots. David used to be a police officer, but now is a stay-at-home dad. And we have a very traditional marriage, but we're not leading a traditional life. Like, it's okay. We've got this.
But how interesting is that? And the way to go. Yeah, before being stay at home, it took sometimes it took guts. It would be like, you're doing, you're not making the money or and all that crap. So that's tremendous. I mean, that's leadership, if you ask me.
Well, it's strength of character. It's
Yeah.
being willing to do what's right for the situation and your family, even if it doesn't meet, the cookie cutter standard.
Sounds to me like a more adventurous, fun life than just being like everyone else. Being different is actually an advantage.
Oh, it's been fun. It's been spicy, and we've really had a good time.
Well, you know what else it teaches us, I think. First of all, congratulations on being different. That's fantastic, and the character. It also teaches us that we're influencing people all the time too, and most of the time we probably don't even know it, and
Yeah.
we actually have a choice to do it to be positive about it rather than the alternative. And and we can all make a difference in that way also. So I think you're leading the way. So thanks for sharing.
Well, and in that regard, so David's nickname for me is Par, for puppies and rainbows. He anchors me, but you know, he at the same token acknowledges that I'm futuristic and hunting the good stuff and finding collaborative, clever ways to make the world a better place. I want to be happy because I think life is too short to be miserable.
I'm with you all the way, Par. So go correct them. Thanks.